up, fight fans? Welcome to Triple THS. I'm the second follower of MMA, Tommy Toehold. Today, Ronda wins the Daytona 500, Thor drops the hammer, and Apocalypse 2013 begins. Stay tuned to the end of the episode for some huge news, plus a viewer comment of the week. Let's do this shit! Hickson by armbar. In a victory for vaginas everywhere, Ronda Rousey took on Liz Carmouche, marking the first women's fight in UFC history. Not only that, but the ladies were the main event, and unlike some other fights on the card, did not suck like a Dyson. Ronda came out firing, but quickly found herself wearing a Liz Carmouche backpack, with one of the straps crushing her grill. It looked like the rowdy one was in deep shit, but she managed to shake Miss Favor before permanently requiring a blender. A little bit of ground magic put Ronda in position for the armbar, and with 10 seconds to spare in the first round, she cranked that Soldier Boy like it was 2007. With the win, the disarming California girl star has become so big, NASA's launched a probe to study it. And in her wake, fan favorites like Julie Kensey and Cupcake Lady are likely to be in the UFC for a while. The champ's expected to take on Jennifer Lawrence at UFC 164. Ronda fucking Rousey.
Hey.
That fight was awesome. You're the leprosy of MMA. You're terrifying, you're unstoppable, and you take limbs with you and you leave.
Thanks. Liz put up a good fight. That chick is strong.
More concerning, champ. Your boobs or your belt.
Well.
Misha Tate and Kat Zingano.
Hey, Tommy.
What are you ladies doing here?
We just want to say that we're not impressed. Not impressed at all. Are we impressed, Kat? Nope, we're not impressed.
You gotta admit that winning all her fights in the first with arm bars is a pretty impressive feat.
Yeah, I guess. We see a lot of holes, though. Lots of holes. How many holes do we see, Kat? Lots. Holes everywhere.
Come on now, ladies. I think you're being a bit unfair.
She's good, I guess, if you like arm bars and judo and Olympic-level athletes.
Woo.
Ah! Bitches.
But it wasn't all tit kicks and tampons on Saturday night. There were a bunch of other fights on the card, and none more kick-ass than Dennis Bermudez and Matt Grice destroying each other's souls for 15 minutes. The fight made Forrest V. Bonner look like Fitch v. Askren, and sometime in the third round, Matt Grice was turned into one of the Walking Dead, with only the memory of swinging for the fences left in his brain. Bermudez got the W in the end, but unlike every other sport on the planet, the loser in an MMA bout can be beloved by the fans just as much as the winner, especially when he shaves a few years off his life for our entertainment. Matt, that fight was fucking nuts. For those of us out there not familiar with you, tell us about yourself a little bit.
Well, first name's Donald. I live in Oklahoma. I wrestle in college. Family man. I went to Hare High School. Go Panthers. And I love fighting. Just doing the best I can, and I always try to put on exciting fights. A little upset that I lost on Saturday, but I'm gonna come back stronger than ever and win the next one. I guarantee you that.
Somewhere right now, Sam Jackson is cutting out newspaper clippings of your fight in hopes that he's found the one person that's unbreakable. Other notable 157 happenings: Cheez-Its RNC and Estonian. The Rock spent more time on his back than Lisa Ann. Robbie Lawler returned to the UFC after 26 years to beat up a troll doll. Court McGee dominated Nick Diaz light, then helped his brother and build a barn. California butt chin backpack choked Ivan Minjavar, then helped Dora get to Grandma's house. And just because fuck you, I can throw Bellator highlights into UFC highlights. King Mo caught a spinning back fist, then fell into his opponent's loving embrace. That led us to what some thought should be the main event of the evening. And thanks Zuffa it wasn't, because that match fucking blew Darth Vader balls. Pride legend Dan Harrison took on the Dragon in what was said to be a classic, but Danielson couldn't get his hover around to close the distance, as Machida used his superior dancing skills to dictate where the fight went. By round 3, Ben Askren had fallen asleep watching the bout, and Machida had masterfully Machida'd his way to victory. You can't fault the dude for doing what he had to do to win, and you can't fault me for turning on C-SPAN to liven up the party.
I cannot beat defeat, Tommy. I win all 3 hounds. See?
Oh, nice. What do you say to people who call your style boring?
Is chain kick boring? Is Hashad face boring? Is drinking pee boring? Because if it is, then call me Charlie Hose. Just call me Charlie Hose.
Charlie Hose? Hey, say Ray's Roots Red Roof.
Ray's Roots Red Roof?
Damn it. Spoiler alert, if you don't want to know what happened on Tough last night, mute me and pretend I'm talking about how badass Denzel was in Man on Fire. The episode kicked off with the fallout from Bubba McDicksauce's loss last week, then the focus turned to Uriah Hall and Big Luke beefing over a stiff jab, which led to Adam Sell's girlfriend being called a bitch. We finally get to see more of Norse mystery man Thor leading up to his bout with double punches, but he failed to use his hammer to ride the Bifrost during the segment. Meanwhile, Josh Salmon explains why he's the villain in every rom-com, as well as why his childhood was as violent as the Mr. Rogers episode. Both teams then headed out for a night full of bowling, and in a preview of their upcoming title fight, JLP gave Johnny Bones the business in a 3-frame bet over team jerseys. Afterward, Jones did his best Forrest Griffin and almost made me like him, until I remember that he was John Jones and I'm Tommy Toehold. After a jam-packed episode, we finally get to the bout, and it was faster paced than Jackrabbits on bath salts fucking. Salmon kept the pressure on Chris Hemsworth early, and when the Norse god dropped his hands to summon a lightning bolt, Josh took the opportunity to knock him the fuck out. With the win, Lil JJ gets control of the matchups, and put Clint Hester against Crash Bandicoot in a battle of styles. The preview for next week's show included the guys visiting a Hooters that only exists on TV because those waitresses were not pregnant or ugly. Hide your kids, hide your wife, because they are cutting everybody out here. News broke way too late to cover on Triple THS last Wednesday that John Fitch and a gaggle of other familiar fighters were getting their torches snuffed out by Jeff Probst. The internet promptly went batshit insane for a few hours, and fans took to social media to express their frustration in a civil manner, while the boss man let them know where they could find the fucks he didn't give. With an influx of Strikeforce fighters and new ladies division, looks like the UFC will need to cut about 100 fighters. Just yesterday, Spicoli was cut for a second failed post-fight test, and you can bet your MMA loving ass that plenty more names will be added to that list in the coming weeks. In related news, Jake Shields has changed his name to Bane Cockmaster, and will be throwing from the hips until somebody goes goes night-night. Cockmaster scheduled to fight Frankie Edgar for the Super Catchweight title, the winner of which will then fight Frankie Edgar for the Super Catchweight title.
Got it figured out, man. I know how they're picking who gets cut next.
Oh, hey, it's Paranoid MMA Fan. Why you in the dark?
They find out who I am, man, it's over.
Yeah, I bet. So how are they determining the cuts?
All right, try and stay with me because I'm not going to explain this twice. So the last card was UFC 157, right? And 1 corresponds to A in the alphabet. So 5 is E and 7 is G, obviously. That gives us AEG, which, as you know, stands for Arctic Equestrian Games, which is an animal horse show held in Norway. And what comes from Norway?
Norwegians?
Haha, very funny, Tommy. Petroleum, which is pretty obviously in reference to Robert Sinclair, aka the Gas Man, and who was his last loss to? Paul Sass, who just got released from the UFC after losing to Danny Castillo. Danny Castillo's middle name is Alfonso, and if you apply the order extension principle,
Just get to the fucking point, Paranoid MMA Fan. How will the UFC determine who they cut next?
all right, everybody who meets these criteria are in trouble. They've lost a fight recently. They've won a fight recently. Their favorite Batman's Val Kilmer. They have fought Frankie Edgar. They are Frankie Edgar. If you're Team Jacob, you might be in some trouble. Team Edward's okay for now, Tommy, according to my sources. Having a name that starts with the letter J, chewing food loudly, dating women named Gertrude, and the biggest determining factor, whether or not the fighter has read Oh, the Places You'll Go by Dr. Seuss.
You are a fucking moron. Your comment time. Each week I ask you to send me your love and praise, and instead you send me hate-filled tirades that would make George Carlin blush. This week's winner comes to us from Cabal LB, who said, "You Americans are lucky. When Triple THS episodes come out, you watch it and have a shitty evening. In Poland, I have to watch it after I wake up in the morning. Then I have a shitty day. Fuck you, time zones. And you guys thought you had it bad. Poor Kibble's entire day is ruined by my show. Huge announcement time. As you know, I'm a man of the people, and when my fans demand something, I listen to them, damn it. And I take action right away, a year later. Which is why I'm happy to announce that on sale right now on eBay, Amazon, Sears.com, and the brand fucking new TripleTHS.com, the first, the only, the real life Triple THS t-shirt. It's got my angry ass mug on the front, let's do the shit on the back, and awesome in between. The proceeds go directly in my wallet, so I can make this show better and buy women and booze. Mainly women and booze. Head to TripleTHS.com right now and get one today, where I will find a way to become a real life person, and I will confront you awkwardly in front of your friends. Yeah, you don't want that. That's the show, fight fans. Tune in next Wednesday when I hit the clubs with Alistair Overeem. Until then, follow me on Twitter for pictures of kangaroos fighting people, like me on Facebook to discuss the reasons I hate asparagus, check out my YouTube channel for past shows and bonus content, like today's 1-year anniversary bonus episode, and be sure to visit all my awesome friends who can run 4.240s. Remember Triple THS, I'm Tommy Toehold. Be well, John Spartan.